must be, given the success of the show, having, fucking Bobby Duvall be like, and I'm sure he was aware of you before, but that's what got him to go, I like that guy. It must be extra hard to say goodbye to it, to this character. You're going to really miss playing this guy.
It's not bittersweet at all. People go, oh, it's,
No, it's sad.
a decade. I go, no. There's many more stories to tell.
Yeah.
Now, you want to ask me as an actor, did I peak? No. But are there many more stories to tell? And am I still physically, up to the, it's not like I'm fucking 90.
Right. It is crazy that when you walked in, because I haven't seen you in a year and a half or something like that. Physically, we text, but you're like totally like Mr. Handsome guy now.
I went back to the way Harry, when we were going from Bosch to Legacy, and every cop that I know and have talked to, when they leave the job, they're just not on their feet all the time.
Right.
And they're playing golf or they're eating too much or whatever.
Yeah.
So there's a natural, once again, I go back to this thing. And then it all fell on the heels of COVID. So I was in fighting shape and everything. And then the COVID thing, then I thought, oh, you know what, maybe I'll do like 15 pounds. That'll work well on camera. It'll show a transition of the character and some time, him being sedentary. And then it just got out of hand. And then, because we were not aware of the fact that we were not going to continue.
Oh.
Because we were introducing this whole character for another spinoff for the Ballard show,
right,
which will be great.
Which you'll be a part of as well? Yeah,
kind of. I kind of come in. I always make the joke, if you're gonna do the Robin show, Batman's got to pop in.
Right.
I don't think that Maggie Q liked that analogy too much. She was kind of like, really, motherfucker? I'm Robin and you're Batman.
Oh, wow.
How about I just be Wonder Woman?
Oh.
And I went, no, you're Robin. She's like, fuck you. So the plan was that after this, which will be the final season, was that Harry was going to go back like he does in the books. He was going to go back to police work. Finally, after a couple of years, he goes, you know what, fuck it. This is what I do. So I'll navigate the bullshit. In the books, he goes and works as an auxiliary detective for the San Fernando Police Department. And he's got his office is one of the old decommissioned jail cells. So he's just got a desk and a lamp, and it's pretty dismal. So I said to Connolly, because he is kind of doing some cop work because he's working with Ballard in the episode where we introduce her. I said, I feel like the original Harry again. I feel like I want to go back. Titus wants Harry to go back to being a cop because this feels right, and the time has passed, and let's have him go back. And Mike was like, yeah, let's do that. And I said, and so to do that, I'm going to transform myself back physically to where I was in the pilot. Mm-hmm. And Mike was like, Jesus, it's 10 years ago. And I went, yeah, it's not a huge leap for me.
Right.
So that's hence why I came in and you're like, what's up, Jenny Craig? I went back to the thing, but it's not, Look, I'm grateful for the 10 years that we had the relationships, the working relationships that were solidified on that, the experience of playing this character who I love. I miss the guy.
Yeah.
I miss him a lot. I miss playing him. People would say,
sure.
oh, do you carry that? And I was, no, I'm a fucking actor. I'm not a psychopath.
Right.
But there's a bit of me in Harry.
Of course.
There's a tremendous amount of people always say to me, oh, well, what? I go, well, there's the character that's, and I am.
Where's the bracelet?
Oh, my bracelet fell off a couple of years ago, and I just didn't. Then we started to Velcro one on.
When you say so much of you, I mean, you allowed so much of your personal stuff.
Some of my
character
shit came through.
Yeah.
But when people say, well, what do you, I said, well, I'm true to the character in the books. I said, but there's some affect. What is and I said, he's my father and David Milch. Mm-hmm. And he's those two dogs in the kennel that Harry always talks about fighting for the soul.
Right.
They're both good dogs and bad dogs. And the two of them are, David obviously is still alive, fighting. But I can remember watching the pilot Bosch with my sons. This is 10, 11 years ago. And there was a moment where somebody did something and Harry kind of gave the guy a look and one of my sons went, "Oh,
I know that
guy." And I went, "Huh? What?" And I paused it because I sensed it. And they went, "Dad, are you not?" And they paused it they said, "Do you see that expression on your face?" And I went, "Yeah."
Yeah, it's acting.
Yeah, that's the think shit's about to get, I'm not fucking around anymore. Shit's about to go the other way. And I went, "Really?" And he went, "Yeah." That's why they were both laughing. So there'd be little things every now and then that my kids would pick up on. They go, "That's you. That's not, you may have given that to Harry, but that's you." And I go, "Well, I'm not thinking about that when I'm in the middle of a thing."
Right.
So I miss him.
But I also love the fact that because of your where you're at in your career and your age and the way you know, there's no reason to think that it's not possible that there's some, revision, that there's some down the road. Who knows?
No, I think, and I had dinner with Connolly the other night and we were sort of talking about it. I think this is definitely a distinct possibility that we'll do some Bosch films,
features.
It
should be so great.
Standalone things down the line, because you're never going to get rid of that. And, in success, the thing about, going to do Ballard, which is fun because I love Maggie Q. I mean, that was lightning in a bottle. We came together, we have great chemistry, and we genuinely really love each other as friends and trust each other as actors. It was pure pleasure. But I'm there to ultimately to service that show. You know what I mean? I don't have, I do, but I don't have a dog in that fight.
Sure.
It's not, I don't have there's not enough runway there for me to really fully get Harry in the air in the same way that I can do with my own show. So I'm sure they'll definitely, Harry will return. But the other side of that is that it's I've learned a tremendous amount, and there's a lot of great stuff that's that's in my orbit right now. And so I'm kind of I'm looking at the next thing. I'm not in Barnaby Jones Matlock territory yet. Thank God.
I'm grateful for it's one of my favorite characters that I've ever seen in television. I love that it introduced us to each other.
I know.
As people.
I mean, when I think about that, our relationship, it's certainly, and